Ever ask yourself, if you live in paradise, why leave for vacation? Many people don't. We've all heard the term staycation. In this edition of Behind the Headlines, we're sharing ideas to help you do Southwest Florida like a tourist. Beginning with around the corner across town, vacationing where you live, a new twist that helps you see your hometown in a whole new way.
Staycation is a huge word for us here in this hotel because we have a lot of people that they don't want to get in a plane and travel and go real far, and yet they still want to get away.
Then it's a sight to see, only few ever see it. Deep in the wilds of Southwest Florida is a rare swamp flower. Soon you may be able to get a glimpse without the grudge. Plus, we play around the water, on the water, but beneath the water it's a whole different story. A peek at what's underneath in Water World. I'm Amy Osher. Those stories plus tips on how to get the most from your vacation photos, all coming your way. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. It's a pretty safe bet we all have a long list of things we'd like to do if we ever had the time. Kicking back in your own city may be just the ticket. An added bonus, it doesn't require a plane ticket, but can be every bit the adventure. Here's a new twist on staying home. Signing off work and vacationing from home. The word staycation popped on scene a few years back, but a new twist is trending. Escaping your home, but not your hometown.
Staycation is a huge word for us here in this hotel because we have a lot of people that they don't want to get in a plane and travel and go real far, and yet they still want to get away and have that feeling like they're somewhere lush and tropical in a tropical oasis.
The Hyatt Regency Coconut Point Resort welcomes locals seeking a home away from home.
They can save the travel expenses, come, relax, take it easy. If they have to go home and check on something, they can go home and check on something and just come right back to their tropical vacations.
With plenty of places to splash around, it's a refreshing getaway for the whole family.
It's a popular spot for the kids because we do have the 3 different pools. One right ahead of you that you see is our waterfall pool.
Naples resident Melissa Lestock and her family recently stayed across town at the Coconut Point Resort.
It was amazing. So they have a really good Florida resident rate, and we were able to do there's a lazy river and there's water slides, and the kids loved it. So it was nice to get away but not be too far from home.
Playing like a tourist makes summer funner. Golisano Children's Museum has family fun plans, teaming up on staycations.
In the past, we've partnered with different hotels to do some packages and things like that. But for the most part, we try really hard to make the most of when you come.
The Children's Museum is a popular local vacation destination.
It's air conditioned, which is nice during the summer. They love it. They can run free. They can also go outside if they want to. So it's a great variety here too.
Close to home, but oh so far away. Maybe a staycation is all you ever wanted.
The sunsets are absolutely gorgeous right out back, so it's a very romantic getaway. We have the spa for the couples to use as well as the adult pool for them to relax and be away from the families.
Checking out the food scene is a hot way to enjoy a new city. Between travel guides, blogs, and food apps, there's no shortage of shortcuts to good eats. But we have Tim Aten, and he always knows what's good for us.
The Naples area has become a foodie destination, which is quite an accomplishment for a city of its size. We now even have restaurants from celebrity chefs Art Smith and Michael Salakis. Smith opened 1500 South in March in Naples Bay Resort, and Salakis just launched his Teatro at the end of June in the new Southwest Florida Performing Arts Center in Bonita Springs. These places will become destinations in themselves. Of course, we already have our own longtime locals who have become popular chefs. Vincenzo Betulia, who has Osteria Tulia and Bar Tulia on 5th Avenue South, is critically acclaimed, and he is now planning a new French restaurant on 5th Avenue South. Brian Rowland of Crave Culinaire is another favorite local chef who plans to open his venue soon. It's his own restaurant in North Naples. And many other restaurants make Naples a destination for diners. One of my favorite waterfront restaurants is The Dock, which turned 40 this year and has been a destination restaurant here for decades. And the D'Amico restaurants such as Campiello and the Continental on 3rd Street South and Massa in Mercado are among the best. Whether you are looking for fresh seafood, a slice of pizza, a French bistro, or a taste of Peru, the Naples area has a lot to offer. And of course, you want to top it all off with the desserts. So we have some scrumptious chocolates you can get from Norman Love Confections, the ooey gooiness of the Monkey Bread Factory in Tin City, the incredible flavors at Grace and Shelley's Cupcakes, and the wonderful toppings at Peace, Love, and Little Donuts. Of course, we're always looking for the best key lime pie. Try the ones at Randy's Fish Market or Fish Crazy, or the truly unique take at Cider Press Cafe. Just enjoy the culinary trip.
One swamp inhabitant has fueled adventurers and imaginations alike. An extremely rare orchid, the ghost orchid, is found almost exclusively in the Florida Everglades. Prized for its long, cascading, pure white petals, the ghost orchid is named because of its eerie movements, especially at night when it takes on a ghostly appearance. It's now endangered due to over-collecting and poaching. Both researchers and thieves have traveled deep into the wild to cut down and bring back these rare flowers. But you may be able to see them without wading through the swamp. In an effort to restore the species, researchers managed to germinate and reproduce the plants in a greenhouse. Last year, they returned about 80 orchids back to the swamp, and another 80 went to the Naples Botanical Garden. Now on public display, the orchids are close to blooming. Shelby Reynolds covered this story for the Naples Daily News. You can read it by going to naplesnews.com. Naples Botanical Gardens is one of the premier outdoor tourist attractions in Southwest Florida. It showcases a wide variety of garden habitats, including Caribbean, water, Brazilian, and Asian influences. If you have the time, there are also plenty of insightful workshops. Daily News reporter Shelby Reynolds gave one a try.
Can you go clean and still be green? The answer is yes, according to instructors at the Naples Botanical Garden. They recently held a do-it-yourself workshop demonstrating in front of about 50 people how to make products from safe, wholesome ingredients.
For our workshop today, we talked about natural home and body care, and so we focused a lot on being able to transition out of some of the harsh chemicals that we use on our everyday life, as far as laundry detergent to all-purpose counter sprays, all the way up to just lip balm and sunscreen and those kind of products as well.
Emily Maya was one of the hosts.
I just keep a big Sam's Club gallon of vinegar right next to me.
She wanted to be a better consumer advocate for her own health.
It's very important to know what's in these products, because you're around them all the time, a lot more than we may even think about it, and even just putting them on our own skin, they become incorporated into our body. And so we found that a lot of these products have harmful effects on your body.
A lot of people are curious. This is definitely trending.
Everyone was happy to get their hands on freebies: all natural sunscreen bars, sugar scrub, shimmer lipstick, and all-purpose cleaning spray. Brianna Marino helped develop the recipe guide, which was also handed out to the audience.
Highlighting some of the ingredients that people might not know a lot about, that can be found in many natural home recipes and natural body care recipes, and a lot of them overlapping, so you can save a lot of money.
Using things like essential oil, coconut oil, coffee grounds, and beeswax, all non-toxic to you and the environment.
When it goes down the drain, or when it goes into the trash can at the end of the day or whatever, I know that it's not going to have a harsh effect on the world and the planet that we live on.
Still to come, bringing your photos to life. A help yourself guide to getting the most out of your vacay snap so you can show them off to all your friends. Stay with us. Southwest Florida's most notable feature is definitely the water. It's the biggest draw for locals and tourists alike, but few see it from the bottom up. That's where we find another rare creature, the elusive sawfish. On the verge of extinction, this odd-looking beast that grows upwards of 20 feet once roamed freely in the local waters, known as a fearsome predator.
They definitely look prehistoric with the rostrum full of teeth on the front of their head. Probably because they're so dangerous, and it's very difficult to deal with them if you do catch one. It gets everyone's blood pumping and excitement, but you have to be extremely careful with sawfish. Best thing to do is to take a picture while it's still in the water and cut your line and let it go.
Related to both sharks and stingrays, the species was almost wiped out, but conservation efforts are helping the sawfish rebound, and Southwest Florida is the epicenter.
Juvenile habitat is perfect in Southwest Florida. The waters are warm, lots of structure and habitat and food, and a lot of the fishing pressure in the sort of the backwater areas allows them to escape capture and hopefully make it to adulthood.
This video was taken by Alex Pinto and went viral last April. It shows a 14-foot sawfish caught and released near the Naples Pier. And that's where we find Scott Butherus, who wrote this story for the Naples Daily News. He's back at the pier with a fishing report, should you want to pick up a rod and reel.
Hey, thanks, Amy. As any of us locals know, Southwest Florida has some of the best fishing anywhere in the state. And the best part is, you don't even need a boat to get to where some of the big fish are. Summertime fishing around here can yield an assortment of big game, such as tarpon, sharks, lunker, snook, and redfish, without ever having to leave dry land. With miles of pristine coastline and numerous public and private docks, such as the Naples Pier, there's nearly as many spots to fish as there are fish to catch. Other popular spots, if you're looking to make a day of fishing, include Wiggins Pass, Lover's Key, New Pass, and the Jolly Bridge in Marco Island. You don't need to be a hardcore angler to bring home dinner. A free-line shrimp under a popping cork or with a light weight can be enough to entice a variety of sea trout, snapper, pompano, or redfish into biting. So grab your cooler and some sunscreen and hit the water, because wherever there's water, there's likely to be fish. And don't forget, take a photo of your catch, send it in to naplesnews.com, and we'll feature on the Catch of the Week gallery. I'm Scott Butherus. Back to you, Amy.
One more stop in the newsroom, it's our weekly commentary.
A lot of you are probably wondering how in the world Donald Trump beat out all those other Republicans to become the party's nominee. Well, one reason is the 287G program used by the Collier County Sheriff's Office and a handful of other agencies around the country. It's not that the program, which allows local deputies to check the immigration status of people booked into the jail, helped Trump, but the fact that it's controversial did. Critics of 287G say, among other things, that local law enforcement shouldn't get involved in enforcing federal law. That's absurd. Bank robbery is a federal crime too. Do we want local law enforcement to watch bank robbers drive away while they wait for the FBI to show up? When they take the job, sheriff's deputies swear to uphold the laws of the county, the state, and the nation. Since taking office, President Obama and his administration have been scaling back the 287G program, discouraging local police from using it. Collier County is just one of 2 agencies in Florida still hanging on to it. Donald Trump, as ham-handed and hyperbolic as he is, was the first candidate to tap into the growing frustration of Americans who think that we ought to enforce our immigration laws. They are sick and tired of common sense solutions being called racism. If someone is booked into the county jail, they're already in trouble. They're not a victim, they're not a witness. Checking to see if they're here legally makes perfect sense. Don't we want to use every tool at our disposal to deport people here illegally who commit crimes? Donald Trump thinks we should, and a lot of people agree with him. Putting up artificial barriers to prevent one agency from accessing the data of another agency is exactly the sort of thing people are fed up with. Sheriff Kevin Rambosk and his staff have renewed the 287G program in spite of the criticism. Good for them.
Coming up, want a safe way to see a Florida gator? How about stuffed and mounted? A local taxidermist tells all. That's ahead and behind the headlines.
Guys riding around in airboats while they're up there knee deep in snow, and they go, what am I doing? Why don't I go down there and I can send a wife to Disney World or to the beach, and then I can go kill an alligator.
Remember back when you carried a camera with film on all your vacations, you had to wait until the pictures came back to relive the experience. And the image you saw often paled in comparison to the fun you had. Well, fast forward to our camera phones, which open up a world of possibility. In our continuing Help Yourself series, we get tips on maxing out your pics with filters. Sometimes when I'm taking a picture on my phone, I get so overwhelmed that I can't stop myself from using these filters. There's so many of them. Do you have any tips for us? This is Reagan Rule, professional photographer.
I love Instagram. So for me, I have a couple techniques, and I love some of their filters for saving photos and for making my photos really pop. The first one that we have is actually an outside image, and I do love color, but I don't want to go too overboard with the color because you can see when people oversaturate and it looks really, really, really fake. So I actually have this photo here that I took outside in my grandma's house. And it's blue skies, really, really pretty blue.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
And the light's coming through the moss. So I really want to try to pop the moss color and the sunlight. So I just went into Instagram and I just pulled my saturation to the point where, you know, it was really, really strong, but not too oversaturated.
But is there a filter for that, or do you have to manually do that?
This is actually a manual tool in your Instagram. When you were in Instagram, you have two different options, which kind of gives you a little more control. So if you're taking a photo, let's go to one here. Let's select that one, and you're going to go to next. You have, I don't know if you can see it. This is actually a photo of Amy and I from earlier, but there's a little tool in the corner, and so it looks like a little wrench. So you're going to tap that, and it actually has all the manual controls, so you can adjust your straightness, you can adjust your brightness, and that's where I just go in and do all the manual controls. For filters, I usually use filters when I'm doing selfies. And then I usually pick,
And what are the filters? Is it just kind of a preset? They've taken some of those settings and then set them to kind of give it a look or a feel?
What they've done is they've made it really easy for you. So if you want to be a little more tan, if you want to be a little more even, skin tone, a little more artsy, they have all these great preset filters, and you can just go through and, depending on your lighting situations, pick one that really fits for your image.
And I like, for different styles of photography, you said some of them are better suited for certain filters. What do we have that's good for maybe outdoors, black and white?
Well, my favorites, I usually generally go towards, and I always forget the names, really, to be honest with you, because there are so many. If I'm in here, I usually like to go with something that's more of a Juno, or even the Amaro. I'm probably going to say it wrong. Like I said, they've added a whole bunch. Crema's really nice. It's something that you need to explore and see, because, like I said, it depends on if I've been on vacation or not and how much of a tan I have. So
but indoors may be softer, and outdoors you can use the things that really blow it up and enhance the brightness.
Enhance the color, exactly. So you want to do something that either pops the background or pops your skin tone, so that you have that nice color.
Let's take our selfie and put some filters on it.
Okay, cool. So let's go back.
Don't they look cute?
I love it. Do you want to use the one that we already did?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll use this one. Okay, so actually this is
I like
a good
that one better.
This is one that we use with the Lumi, actually.
No wonder I liked it better.
So we're gonna go in here. I wouldn't do a black and white, because since we have a white background, you've got such a blown out, with our skin tone and everything else, it's just gonna be too blown out. Lark is nice. It's a nice even skin tone, but again, it's kind of light for me. So I probably would go in. Ludwig's nice, but if you do find one, this is another trick too. Ludwig or Mayfair. Mayfair is nice because you get the color. You're gonna see the color on here, but I would go back into my tools and you have a contrast button. Pull that contrast down. Yeah. And that's gonna make you have the color, but it's not gonna have that sharp contrast, which might not be so flattering for skin tones. So that's another thing too, is if you do find a filter that you like, you can also go back into your manual settings and just tweak it a little bit.
What's interesting too, if you have different people with different type filter aesthetics, because you're darker, I like to be lighter, and you're kind of stuck when you filter it with everybody getting it.
It gets a little tricky. This one's actually, I do have to say I use this one a lot. This is X Pro 2. And as you can see, you get a really nice saturation, your red lipstick pops, your hair looks good, it's got nice color. Our skin tone's fairly even, so I will probably go with one of these for our selfie. So.
Very nice. And then one last thing that you said that kind of struck me was you were saying that people will kind of develop a style based on the filters they have. It's kind of their look that they seem to like.
Exactly. You're going to gravitate towards you're going to find a couple things that really pop for you, and I know I get stuck in the same filter. I don't really explore any of the other ones because I like those one or two that I use all the time.
And that's just Instagram. Every photo program has its own filter, so a lot to explore, a lot of fun, and it's great that you can do it anytime, anywhere. Thanks very much, Reagan Rule.
Thank you.
Some people want more than a picture to remind them of their Florida adventure. For years, hunters have wanted trophies to take home, and it leads them to a taxidermist, and that's as close as our Dave Osborne is getting to a real alligator.
Hey everyone, I'm Dave Osborne with the Naples Daily News, and we're here in East Naples at Skins and Scales Taxidermy. Taxidermy.
I'm a taxidermist. The business is Taxidermy.
There you go.
Okay.
We're here with Bucky Flowers. He's the owner of this place. Bucky, thanks for letting us come here today.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, and we're doing a story on, especially it seems like gators are in the news now, and obviously you look around, there's all kinds of animals here that you mount for people. Can you talk to a little bit about the popularity of alligators, I guess, in recent years?
Yeah, it just seems like in the last several years when all these alligator hunting shows are on TV now, you got all these Yankees up north, they see guys riding around in airboats while they're up there knee deep in snow, and they go, what am I doing? Why don't I go down there and I can send the wife to Disney World or to the beach, and then I can go kill an alligator. And normally we get 100 to 150 a year. And as you saw in the back there, we got a couple dozen at least where it's in the process of being worked on now.
Yeah.
I have 3 people, that's all they do is alligators. It's from they walk in and they walk out, all they work on every day of the week is gators.
Has there been more people that want the alligators mounted in recent years? Or?
Yeah, just the last several years has really gained popularity. I'm not sure why, but it just maybe my buddy's got one and I want one, and like I said, they see it on TV and they want to go do it. It's usually a once-in-a-lifetime deal, so that's part of it too. They just want to come down to Florida and do it.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit earlier about the process. People don't realize how long it takes to do this, to mount an alligator.
Well, the actual mounting part is not what takes time. It is a process. When we get the animal in, it has to be skinned, and then all the meat taken off the skin is salted back there and dried. It usually has to dry about a month before we can send it to a tanner. So then it's 5 or 6 months normally before I get them back from the tanner. Then they've got to be soaked up and worked and measured and any repairs done, the form ordered, and then it's mounted. Then it's another month or 2 to dry. So it's not like we're just hanging around and then do it in the last month. It's a process.
Yeah.
That's why you see so much stuff in the back. Everything is in various stages of process.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, if you want to get an alligator, if you hunt an alligator and want to get it mounted, this might be a good place to go because it's really interesting back to see what's behind there, all the work that goes into it. I'm Dave Osborne with the Naples Daily News. Again, we're here with Bucky Flowers at Skins and Scales Taxidermy. Look for my story at naplesnews.com, and we'll see you soon.
That brings this edition of Behind the Headlines to a close. Thanks for stopping by. You can rewatch or share this show by going to naplesnews.com. I'm Amy Osher. We'll see you back here next week.